In ancient Rome, before the sun was fully up, young men gathered outside the homes of their patrons. They came with purpose. They came to learn. This ritual was called the salutatio, the morning greeting, the moment when a young Roman placed himself in proximity to a man who had already built something and paid attention. The patron offered protection, counsel, and access to the world. The young man offered loyalty and presence. It was not a transaction, it was a transmission. Knowledge, character, and the weight of experience passing from one man to the next. That ritual is gone. And most men today do not even know what they lost. There is a question that sits underneath a lot of the confusion modern men carry. Not a question they always know how to ask, but you can feel it in how they move, in the decisions they cannot make, in the standards they cannot find because no one ever showed them where to look. Who was supposed to teach me? Not reading and writing, not job skills. Who was supposed to show me how to be a man? How to carry myself, how to fail and stand back up, how to face the world without flinching. Rome had an answer so complete, it produced Scipios and Caesars and Augustuses for centuries. We dismantled it, quietly, gradually, over generations. And now millions of men are building themselves in the dark. Rome did not leave mentorship to chance. At the center of everything was the paterfamilias, the father of the family. From the age of 7, he trained his sons himself. Reading, writing, weapons, the law, the history of Rome. He did not outsource this. He considered it his primary obligation as a Roman citizen, to raise another Roman citizen worthy of the name. Beyond the father, there was the patron. Young aristocrats attached themselves to senior commanders as contubernales, tentmates. They lived alongside the general. They watched how he made decisions under pressure, how he commanded respect without demanding it. They learned by proximity, by observation. Polybius traveled with the young Scipio Aemilianus across the empire and shaped the mind of the man who would later destroy Carthage. Not in a classroom, in the field. Rome understood something we have forgotten, that a civilization is only as strong as what it passes down, that leaving boys to figure it out alone is not freedom. It is abandonment dressed as independence. So what happened? Over 118 million children in the United States grow up without a father in the home. 85% of men in prison grew up without fathers. Only 23% of primary school teachers are male. We dismantled the apprenticeship. We destroyed the workshop. We eliminated the spaces where men naturally transmitted knowledge to younger men. And then we wondered why young men feel lost. Robert Bly wrote that the wound most modern men carry is the father wound. Not because their fathers were bad men, but because the structure that brought fathers and sons into meaningful contact was destroyed by a culture that did not understand what it was destroying. Now I want to speak to you directly. You did not have a paterfamilias who shaped you with intention. You did not have a patron whose door you could knock on every morning. You had to figure it out yourself. The Stoics anticipated you. Seneca told Lucilius, read deeply from a small number of serious men. Choose your teachers from history. Sit with Marcus Aurelius until you know how he thought. Sit with Epictetus until his logic becomes your reflex. You cannot have a living patron, but you can have Cicero, you can have Seneca, you can have every Roman general who ever wrote down what he learned. The books are the mentors. At some point, the work of becoming a man is yours alone to do. The man who builds himself in the absence of guidance carries something the guided man often does not. He carries the certainty that he did it himself, and no one can take that from him. Find your teachers in the books. Find your brothers in men who are serious about the same things you are. Build the salutatio in your own life. Seek proximity to men who have built what you want to build. And one day, when you have built enough, look back. There will be a younger man watching you. Pass it down. Rome was not great because of its emperors. It was great because of its fathers, its generals, its patrons. Men who understood that their primary duty was not to themselves, but to the man coming behind them. That tradition did not die because it was weak. It died because we stopped choosing it. You can choose it again. Memento mori. The men who were supposed to teach you are gone. The time you have is yours. Use it to become something worth passing down.